If you're given the opportunity to change one thing about fish farming in Ghana, what would that be?
Access to markets. So we are talking about the quality of our produce. We need to find a standardized way of producing quality fish. That is not to say that we are not producing that quality fish, okay? So we need to find a way to produce quality fish, but then also how do we add the value? So when we add that value, what kind of market would we see to be able to consume that?
When people lose their loved ones, especially those who serve as role models in their professional lives, it is difficult for them to recover. But this week on The Ghanaian Farmer, I met a young Ghanaian fish farmer who is challenging this narrative. Join me on The Ghanaian Farmer TV, wherever you are watching us from across the globe, and drop a comment to appreciate him. Of course, if you want to go into fish farming, this is the right episode to watch. My name is Anyonam. I'm going for a quick breather. When I come back, Gabriel joins me right here on his farm.
I switched from my shoe manufacturing business into fish farming because at that time there was COVID. Then I found a new niche, which happened to be fish farming. My name is Gabriel Lartey, CEO of Lartey Farms.
You are once into shoemaking.
Yeah.
Tell me, was it ladies or gents?
It was gents. I was doing boots. So like the Chelsea boots, Brooks, Oxfords, that was what we were dealing with.
Is that what you studied in school?
No, I didn't study that in school, but I just sort of had some small business acumen. So I just decided to just start it whilst I was in school. And then before my final year, I used to sell shoes to my colleagues. And then during final year, I started trying to sell to managers in different companies and what have you. And so then I decided to grow the business a lot more. And then I had some good amount of investment in the business, trying to bring in a lot more shoes from outside the country, and COVID happened. And so then, that business just had to go down the drain.
COVID didn't stop us from wearing shoes, did it?
No, COVID didn't. But then what happened was, at that time, I had ordered for a lot of things from outside the country. And then they had to sit at the port for way too long. Okay. And so when the shoes came, some of them were already flaking up. And so then I sort of lost interest in that business totally.
All right.
Yeah.
So in which year did the idea of fish farming came into being? And was it for commercial purpose, or it was just, you know, playing around your backyard?
So I started fish farming in 2020, around December. And what happened was I had lost my dad. I had a few friends coming to visit me. And so when they came to my house, they saw a pond over there. And then they were like, Charlie, why won't you do something with fish since you have a pond? I told them I'm not interested in that because I had tried to better myself with marketing. So I was thinking about some white collar job or trying to establish a business in another area. But then I ended up going in to get just 100 fish. And then it started as a hobby. I just used to go and sit by the pond from morning to evening, just to while away some time. Little did I know that that was going to become my business today.
As a fresher going into fish farming, back in 2020, did we have this kind of ponds, or there were the concrete, the earthing, and others? Which pond did you start with?
Okay, so I started with a 1,000 liter tank, which was the white tank with the metals all around it, which a lot of the times people use it for construction and all of that.
Exactly.
So my 100 fish were first in that tank. And then after a short while, I moved them into the concrete tank I had in my house. And then later, after several years, I decided to now do them in tarpaulins because of the various advantages I could get with some of these systems.
Right. How did you come by the knowledge? Because you need to change water, you need to feed them at a specific time. Did you have the knowledge already, or because it was a hobby, you really didn't care? You just went to buy it because of your friends?
So my friend Chris and Robert, they started something in Chris's house. And so I've already been there before, and I've seen what it takes to start a farm. And so before I started, I had my tank, I had some water in there, but the information I had was just a bit scanty. Oh, you have to change the water, you have to feed them, but we were not really using measurements and what have you, just eye service, trying to take a look at what's happening in the pond and then using that to draw your conclusions. But after a while, I said, no, I wanted to do this well, because I started, the funny thing is I started with just 100. About less than a month after the 100, I brought in 500.
Hey.
Yes.
Depression, they worry you like that.
So I brought in the 500. I didn't place them into the square tank. I placed them in the concrete tank we had in the house.
Right.
And they started dying.
Okay.
So when they started dying, that thing that was supposed to bring me some level of peace in my heart is now becoming a trouble. So I quickly rushed online. Went on YouTube trying to find out information, but the information I was getting was not
scanty.
Yeah, it was very scanty. It was not going to give me what I needed. So quickly I rushed to University of Ghana Marine and Fisheries Department, and then I spoke to some of the lecturers over there, and then I sort of invited them over, and then that was when proper farming started. So proper quantity of water, quantity of fish in the pond, what quantity of feed are you supposed to feed them. And that is where I started seeing that this thing can now move from a hobby into a business.
Right. What do you make of the Ghanaian fishing industry presently? What do you make of it?
The current Ghanaian fishing industry comes in two different ways. Okay, so we have the marine life. We are talking about anything we can get from the sea. And then we've also got the freshwater bodies, where we have the tilapia and then our catfish. A lot of them happens in our freshwater bodies, which you and I both know that Ghana, we've destroyed a lot of our water resources.
Exactly.
And so a lot of these places where originally we used to get fish from, right now we are not getting fish from some of those sources. So one of the major sources of fish for us in Ghana is coming from the Volta Lake. But you see, Ghanaians are consuming a lot of fish, and it is said that per capita, that is, every Ghanaian eats about 25 kilos worth of fish in a year.
Wow.
Yes. And our offshore, which is the marine life, is not able to provide all of that for us because of illegal fishing and a whole lot of issues. And so now we have to rely on aquaculture, which is as human beings designing systems like this to farm fish. And so our current industry is an industry that is, I'm telling you, is growing. Because when I started the industry, about 5 years ago, there were a lot of things I wasn't seeing in the industry, and a bit of order. I was not really seeing that level of order. But now I'm seeing order in terms of even how the feed companies are moving. Now they don't price their things anyhow. They sort of try to read the market, because there are about 5 major fish feed companies in Ghana producing. So a bit of some competition coming in there. Also, I would say in terms of supply. So supply, we are having a lot of fish coming in from the Volta Lake. A lot of Ghanaians do eat a lot of tilapia. But again, I would say catfish over the past couple of years is gaining a lot of traction in the Ghanaian market. People are either grilling it, smoking it, some pepper soup. If you go and you want to eat your fufu or whatever, you can get some of that in there. So I'm seeing like a growing industry. And you see, it's in line with FAO's targets for 2030, where there is a tremendous amount of growth expected in the aquaculture industry, which Africa has the potential to give us one of the biggest growth. So I decided to just plug myself in an industry that FAO is estimating what everybody would need. Okay, so if every Ghanaian is taking 25 kg, maybe we would need a little bit more. And so I am plugging myself in that particular vision. And again, we are importing a lot when it comes to fish.
Where do you import fish from in Ghana?
Ghana imports a lot of fish from, as you know, China, every neighboring countries and what have you. And the last data, we were importing close to $200 million worth of fish produce every single year. So, and this business you are seeing here is to sort of try and see if I can get 1% of that particular market, which is about like $2 million. If I'm getting $2 million, Charlie,
you are in business.
I'm in business. I'm okay. I understand it will take a while, but I mean, we are willing to put in the work.
Run me through for a startup farmer who's worked to Lartman, and I want to go into fish farming.
Okay.
How much minimum will I need? And give me a breakdown of what that investment will go into.
Good. So currently in Lartman farms, we've seen that there are different requirements, and we've set up over 170 farms in Ghana over the very few years. We've worked with very big farms and also very small farms. And most of our clients are like newbies, people who know nothing about fish farming and they want to do this. And so we decided to craft a package for our newbies. And that package is going to come with a pond, so the metalworks, the tarpaulin material, the plumbing materials, the installation of the pond, nets to cover the pond, you've got your fish, and then you've got your feed. Now, out of these packages, what you can get, the minimum of them is going to be 5,300 Ghana cedis, which is going to give you about 250 fish. And then the biggest of them, we've got an 11,500, which is this one, which gives you 1,000 fish and feed that can last you for your first 3 months of production.
Okay.
After that, so let's say 11,500 to have this.
Yes.
So for the next 3 months, you're not going to be bothered about feed, fish, whatever. In 3 months, 11,500 takes care of this.
Everything.
Yeah. Then subsequently, depending on the size of fish you want to grow. So for example, in this farm, we used to grow 1 kilo size of fish. Normally, they are the ones going to take about 5 to 6 months. But we decided to do 400 grams to 700 grams fish, which in 4 months we can sell. So apart from that, depending on whether you want to do the smaller size fish, which works for the smoked fish market, or the bigger size fish, which works for the
direct consumption.
Those who probably want bigger fish for the point and kill and what have you, then that would determine the amount of feed that you would buy.
And how many months you can leave them in the pond. So if I give you my 11,500, at the end of the 3 or 4 months, how much am I expected to make? Okay, so 3 months, by 3 months, your fish will probably, we are looking at fish being around almost maybe 300 grams averagely. So maybe we decide, let's buy extra 10 bags of feed in addition, right? The extra 10 bags of feed, a bag of feed is about 330 Ghana cedis averagely. So 10 of them is about 3,300, and then maybe some cost in transportation and what have you in there. So if you should do that addition, you're probably going to spend about maybe 16,000-ish in this particular region. Okay. And then you are selling the fish for 25. Averagely 25 cedis. No, it's between 400 to 700 grams in size, but 25 cedis for a kilo. Then what you are looking at getting is around 22,500 Ghana cedis. So then you do your subtraction in there. You are looking at maybe around almost 6,000-7,000 cedis as your profit. But if you want more, what you can simply do is harvest all of those guys there and smoke them. The moment you smoke them, the price of the fish will change. Double. Yeah, so most of the time it does double. For those guys who want to keep them for more than a kilo, then normally their cost of production is going to be as high as about 20,000. Okay, but then the people do sell their fish for a kilo 35 minimum, but 40 cedis, because 35 has been like 2 years price, so like 40 cedis averagely. So if you are doing about 900 of them as well, you are going to get about 31.5. So if you subtract you are getting like 10,000 to 11,000 roughly as your return on investment. Okay. So those who sell fresh, those who smoke it, and then those who want to maybe add extra value like the point and kill, among this line of value chain, which one makes me more profit?
So it depends on your market first, but then again, the beauty of all of this, for example, in this farm, we only do the smoked size fish because it's 4 months. Every 4 months we harvest, we get a new set of fish, right? And then we have seen that we are able to turn that all of that cost properly, because you remember the first calculation we did, it included the cost of the pond,
yes,
and the metals,
yeah,
and the plumbing. Your next cycle of production, your pond and these
they already
material,
exist.
they're already out of it. So then your cost is going to be fish
down,
and feed and whoever is going to take care of them. So when we did the calculations, we realized that works a lot for us. But even in selling it fresh, for us as a company, we probably sometimes do want a bit more. And so because of that, then we have, when they are ready, so for like these guys, the moment we are just trying to add up a little bit of some weight, and then we smoke all of them. And we've got guys who we sell to them, and that is pure gold coming in there.
The smoked one?
Yeah, the smoked fish. Now for those who are doing the grilling, I have like a farmer who I helped him to start a farm.
Yeah.
Who's currently grilling fish around somewhere around La. Now for him, he's growing his fish, and his cost of production is now up to 25 cedis per fish, right? Or let's just say he's buying the fish for 35 cedis per kilo from another farm. He comes and he grills, and he's selling at 120 cedis with Banku. So that difference in there. The only tip you need to know is you need a very good location and a very good chef who is going to be, I'll say, loyal to you and your business. Okay. But there's a whole new niche and a whole new business we as a business are even looking at.
Right.
That is all the smoked fish. We sort of get them into powder, and then we look at various things we can do with that. So the powder we are looking at, we can use it, incorporate it in babies' diets. We can use it for spices.
Adults can use it.
Everybody can use it. So instead of some of these things that doctors are saying we shouldn't be taking them in, you can use your fish powder. Yes, and then that is an area we are willing to invest in as a business. And pretty soon you start seeing some of our products outside there.
Okay, Lartman is in business. Very insightful conversation ongoing with my brother, Lartman Farms. And so he was in the studio some time back to do some breakdown for us. But a lot of you came, you know, commenting, where is the farm? We want to see what he's doing. And so we had to come here today to show what he is doing and the package he mentioned during the breakdown that he has for startup farmers. I'm going for a quick breather. When I come back, we would delve into, you know, what kind of pond works for you, how many fishes you can put in there, the management of the fishes and all that. But do a favor, you know, subscribe, share this video, and drop a comment to appreciate Lartman. I'll be right back after this. Have you had time to check which countries are leading in fish farming in Africa?
Yes, so I know of Egypt, I know of Kenya, I know of Nigeria, I know of Ghana. We had there was a data where we had 5 major fish farms in Ghana, to one of the events they did here in Ghana. Okay. And some countries are doing amazingly well. Great. And the truth of all of these things is we sort of do share information. So for example, a lot of the Nigerians are learning tilapia farming in their lagoons and lakes from Ghanaians. Okay. Yeah. And so it's more of trade here, trade there. Information sharing, knowledge, and all that. Now when we walk in here, I asked myself, is Lartman not killing the fish by exposing the pond to the direct sun and not shading it? Is this the standard practice? All right, good. So I remember when I started fish farming, Charlie, I used to do a whole lot of things. I used to mix things with my fish feed, and all of those things, I later on realized that they were not going to help me. What do I mean by that? African catfish and tilapia, normally we are talking about the Nile tilapia, they like sunlight a lot. The sunlight is actually good for them. So complete shading of your farm is normally not the best practice. There are some farms I'm working on, some very huge farms, over 100,000 capacity farms that I'm working on. and the entire top part of the pond is, if not shaded, at least there should be some amount of light coming in and a lot of space. So if you have, like, let's say if I had this, all of these tanks here, and there isn't enough enclosed the entire area, I'm not going to allow a lot of air to move through, and that is one thing we need to pay attention to. The second thing has to do with something around the nitrogen cycle and photosynthesis and a whole lot of that. Now, your fish is going to produce a lot of waste.
Yeah.
Their waste is known as ammonia. Okay, and then ammonia is toxic to fish, very, very toxic to fish. And what you need is, you need a certain amount of sunlight and some beneficial bacteria, which they are universally distributed in everywhere you find ourselves. Even in this pond, there are some beneficial bacteria in there, nitrous ammonias and nitrobacter, and then they would convert the ammonia into nitrate and nitrite, which is less toxic to fish, for fish to be able to work in that environment. All the same, those who have complete shade over their ponds, most of the time, if they are farming catfish, you see that instead of you seeing the pond looking a bit green, the pond will be looking brown.
Okay.
And the brown is not really ideal for your fish.
All right.
So that's why we normally leave them. But what we can do is this. When you bring in the fish initially, right, what you can do is you can shade 1/3 of your pond for a while. Now, when they grow to a certain size, then you leave them.
How many weeks?
So for us, we normally look at the size of the fish and then also the environment. So for example, beginning of this year, I think from March or April, we had heavy sunlight coming in there. So during that time, we had some boards that we had to...
Yeah, the plywood.
We used to use them to cover the ponds. Also because of the volume of water. We are running on boreholes, and during those times, we didn't have a lot of water as we would want to. But right now, we have cooler temperatures, so we take everything off. We allow the fish to feel free, and then we give them a lot of water.
I realized that your ponds have two different colors. This color, ash, this is ash, right?
Yeah.
And then this is blue.
Yeah.
And you're telling me there's difference between the materials.
Yes.
For a startup person, maybe I want to do my own pond and come and buy the juveniles from you. Tell me, what should I be looking for, the material?
Okay, so a lot of people do this mistake, and it's very important that you pay attention properly. You see, you are going to farm fish for human beings to eat. Therefore, you need to always put into consideration whether what you are going to produce will be safe for the overall consumer. Therefore, you need a material which is food grade. Emphasis on food grade, because if it's food grade, despite the sunlight, despite whatever is happening, you wouldn't have a lot of the plastics or anything being emitted into the fish. You understand? So that is very, very important. And then in sourcing your material, get a material which is high density polyethylene. If you get a HDPE material, which is food grade, you are in business. Okay. The next thing is maybe the thickness of the material. So for example, this material is also HDPE, but it is light. We've used it for less than 2 years, about almost 2 years now. And because we clean our ponds and they use brush to clean the ponds, we sometimes see marks in the pond.
Okay.
Which means that the ponds may not necessarily, we can't use them over their shelf life, which is normally going to be 5 to 6 years.
Before you have to change the entire pond.
The material.
Okay.
You understand me? So what we've decided to do is, based on different things, you realize from where we stand all the way down, we've got a thicker material doing this. Yeah. Don't go and choose the canopy material or any material. No. People are just using anything.
Any kind of material.
No. Just take your time, get in some HDPE.
The pond, how do I manage? How often do I clean? How often do I change water?
Good.
How often do I check for my water quality? Please, can you run us through this quickly?
So, in this farm, if anybody is starting something of this sort, right, there are a few management practices that we need to do.
Yes, sir.
So Latimer Farms, as part of the package, we give you very quality fingerlings, okay? Normally we sell juveniles to our farmers, which is a part of the package. Sometimes, I mean, people even get bigger size of fish.
Right.
But when you receive the fish, in the very first 3 weeks to 4th week, which is like a month, you need to do a standard practice, which is called sorting.
Okay.
Sorting is basically separating bigger fish from smaller fish, male from female, healthy from unhealthy. This practice is very important because after 1 month of the fish coming into the new farm, when they acclimatize, you realize that some will grow faster than the others. And sometimes you see some cannibalism in there. So you can see that a farm receives 1,000 or 5,000 fish. After 3 months, when they count, maybe they are getting 2,000. It's because they didn't do that practice.
Okay.
So on the 3rd week to the 4th week, you sort your fish.
Right.
Now, aside that, then feeding. So feeding is done in rations. We calculate the feeding and then we recalibrate it every 2 weeks. So for example, I know the average weight of my fish in the pond. Then I do a percentile calculation of the average weight and the quantity of fish I have in my pond. It will give me the quantity they need to feed per day. And then I feed them maybe morning and evening. So you need to be able to have that calculation in there. And what Latimer Farms will do is we help farmers recalibrate the feeding for you. So there are farmers that you don't need to worry yourself. Yours is to get a scale and then we'll tell you, you have this number of fish, feed them X amount or Y amount. So that's the next one, is the feeding.
Okay.
The third one has to do with water quality. Now, fish live their entire lives in water, and therefore the quality of water will determine the quality of produce at the end of the day. And so what we do in these systems is we change water twice in a week. Now, twice in a week means that you open the valves, the outlet valves,
yes,
which we decided to give the ponds 2 outlet valves so that the water can drain quickly. Because one major thing that kills fish is stress.
Okay.
And so any activity you do that can cause stress to your fish can also kill them.
Right.
Or can compromise their immune system. So you change your water quickly, within an hour tops, you are done changing your water, and then you refill in the pond. Our ponds can take as much as 1,200 fish,
okay,
but we tell people to stock with just 1,000. Yes.
Oh, okay.
So that the fish can have that smooth space to grow. And that is why we are getting very good growth rates in our ponds, because we sort of understand what the fish needs and requires from time to time,
right,
and we try to provide it to them at those times so that we don't delay, and then we ensure some levels of profitability.
How important is water in fish farming?
Water is everything for fish farming. Fish is not goat, is not any other animal. They need water. The temperature of the water is the same as the temperature of the fish. Everything that happens to the water affects the fish. Therefore, the quality of water is very essential. If you want to do this, yes, you can use pipe-borne water, but you know, pipe-borne water is treated with some alum and chlorine, so you can let the water sit in the sun in your reservoir for about 48 hours, and then the sun will dechlorinate, and then you have that. You can also use some boreholes, which when Latimer Farms come to set up a fish farm for you, there's something called a feasibility study where we'll come to the farm and take a look at that. So if you've got a borehole, we'll take samples of the water, we'll run a test of the water, tell you it's okay for you to use for your fish, then you can use that for your fish.
Okay.
There are also people who are using rivers, streams, lakes, and all of that. Now, most of the time, I want something I have a larger level of control over. But I mean, people are doing it and they're still getting the result.
Fish farming in the water lake versus fish farming in this system, which one is less risky? Which one is more profitable?
Risk and profitability. Okay, so in these systems, I'll say I am able to control a lot of things happening here. Meanwhile, in the water lake, there are a lot of things I do not control.
Okay.
But the farming in the water lake can be very profitable to an extent, because there's a whole amount of water just rushing through.
In and out.
Now let's look at the Akosombo spillage that happened. You realize something happened somewhere. All the farmers along the lake had an issue.
Their pond.
Now there's an issue of strep, which is a fish disease, and there are different fish diseases. Now, if a farm is infested with any of those diseases because I am on the lake,
Yeah.
and your nam goes to choose source fish from somewhere, give some antibiotics, mixes some whatever and what have you, because she wants to be able to harvest the fish in 2 months or in 3 months. Whatever she uses runs through my farm, runs to another person's farm, runs to another person's farm.
So infection.
And a lot of that. And so I prefer control.
All right.
What you cannot control, you cannot manage.
So the risk in the water lake is higher compared to this side.
Yes, yes.
But the profits.
The profits in the water lake, because I tell you, most of the people who are farming in the water lake sometimes work with just 50%
of the budget.
Yeah, so like they are doing, if I stock my fish and everything, maybe I should get about 50% of them. But here I am working with somewhere as high as 90%. Because anywhere below 90%, whilst I'm able to control to this extent, it's not going to, I don't think it makes a lot of sense for me as someone who is doing business.
How has the journey been for you?
The journey has been pretty amazing. Slightly rough, dealing with a lot of people, trying to understand the terrain, the requirements of the industry, your fish. But I'll tell you, it's one of the best decisions I ever made in my life, if not the best decision I made in my life, to do a fish farm and start fish farming.
What has been some of the achievements you can share to motivate that young man who doesn't want anything to do with agriculture?
When I was doing my shoe business, I was sitting in my office, and yeah, delivery companies come and pick my stuff, and then they go and sell, or they go and give it to whoever is buying, and that's it. In fish farming, through fish farming, a lot of my travels outside the country, working for very high profile clients in Ghana and outside of Ghana, is happening because of fish farming. Through fish farming, I'm working on some national projects. Last year, I worked on a national project as a trainer of trainers. And this year, I'm working on another project as the lead consultant for that. So there are lots of opportunities I've seen in fish farming. And then the last thing is moving somewhere and you just see someone who says, I started my farm because of you and God bless you. That is one of the most beautiful feelings you could ever get in your life. Someone saying, my life is better because of you. And that's why I love my fish farm.
Indeed, my life is, but that, I always tell you that people ask me, why are you doing what you do? It is because of what Latman said. Someone tells me, Enyo, I have relocated to Ghana with my family to go into farming because of you. Yeah. There is nothing fulfilling, nothing impactful than hearing these words.
Yeah.
A lot of young people, like I said, a lot of graduates. That's why we even have Unemployed Graduate Association in Ghana. Why do you think they are still shying away from agriculture in this present day?
So you see, I think is the route we want to take, okay? So for example, I'm not saying my journey is going to be the same for everyone, okay? Everybody has their own journey. But firstly, when I started like a fish farm, when I said I was trying to start this thing, the first couple of months, the farms I set up, the things I didn't charge any money. But that was a period of learning, okay? And I think young graduates, we should be willing to go through the process of learning. You see, when you go through the process of learning, you would know what you are talking about. You would have the experience, and that alone can help you to finance what you are trying to do. If I said I was waiting for money to start this fish farm, I'm telling you, that money was not going to fall from anywhere. But I started from a small tank, then a bigger tank. I started helping other people, and then they'll pay me. Right now, I'm charging per hour on some things that I do.
Hello.
And to a larger extent, I don't even rely on the finances from the farm. Because the farm is self-sustaining and running itself. I am rather using my jobs in other areas to pay myself, my staff, and what have you. So I bet you, it is not worth it staying home. It is not worth it spending time doing nothing. Charlie, find something to do. And one of the things you can do is to join a farm. If you come and you say you want to work with a farm that is growing crops, so I'm not sure they'll sack you if you have the right attitude. And that becomes the best things you can have as a young person. It's a time and a period of learning. Enjoy that. Maybe after 30, if you don't want to do that, no problem. But if you are young, you just finished university, I mean, a year, 2 years, 3 years, to learn and understand the craft, invest in that.
As a startup, should I start with fingerlings or juveniles?
All right, so some of the things we've observed so far is the smaller the fish, the more difficult it is for you to handle them. So we normally start with juveniles for a lot of our farmers. So we don't even sell fingerlings. We always deal with juveniles.
Okay.
And when we come, we would sort out everything, give it to you, and then we would help you to manage. So there are farms where when we stock, first 2 weeks of stocking your farm, you have to be sending us videos. So the videos will tell us that you are doing quite well. And then while we are doing that monitoring, we also let you know some things that you need to learn in there, and then you're in business.
And
so there are some farms that I have never been there before. Their farms are even bigger than mine.
Oh wow!
And they'll tell you I follow
the protocol.
Everything you said.
Okay.
Even outside of Ghana.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. From service, from sale of juveniles, what has been the biggest revenue that blew your mind? You're like, if I had knew this, last month.
So this was it. Whatever we made last 2 years.
Yes.
We made, like whatever we made the entire year, we made that in less than 6 months last year.
And that's about how much?
And then whatever we made last year, in less than 3 months in this year, we had made that amount of money.
Averagely, about how much are we talking about?
Averagely, good amounts of thousands of cedis. Let's say hundreds of thousands of cedis.
Are we ever going to see a millionaire?
Yeah.
Coming from
I'm not even going to let you finish. Yes, we will. A lot.
Are you not exaggerating?
I am not. How much is a million? How much is a million? Are you talking dollars? How much is $1 million?
So it's possible that we can pinpoint that these people are millionaire because of farming.
And let me show you something. You see this thing and this property I have and whatever I'm doing over here. If I was in the US, I wouldn't have this amount of space. I wouldn't have these systems here. I wouldn't start this farm and see things move the way it's moving. So if I have more of whatever I have now, I am telling you, I know for sure we'll get there. We will get there. It's easier to do it here than to do it in any part of the world.
So you're saying if you're offered to relocate entirely to go and stay in the US versus stay in Ghana and be a fish farmer, which one are you choosing?
Oh, I've had that offer before, and I've stayed in Ghana to do my fish farm. That was before I lost my dad. We were talking about going outside to look at other opportunities, and I was like, Charlie, I like Ghana. When I lost him and I was all basa, I was like, let me try this thing for a short time and then see, because I had an opportunity to go outside to sort of study, and then I've been here since. Funny thing is, some of the people who were putting me on those opportunities now tell me that, Charlie, you are the one to come to.
Your top 5 agri-businesses.
Top 5 agri-businesses.
You're giving the chance to choose top 5, being it from crop, livestock to fish farming. Your top 5, and why?
Because I'm a fish farmer, I always have the fish bias. So fish farming, one. The second one, I'm looking at pork. That's piggery, running a piggery. The third one I'm looking at will still be poultry. Poultry is not bad. If you do it well, I've seen people rake in huge sums of money. Then the next set, I'm going to crops. Plantain farming could make you crazy amounts of money. And then the last one, some of the vegetables in terms of maybe like pepper, habaneros. Yeah, those are the things I'm looking at. Even if I'm to diversify, some of these areas are areas I'll diversify into.
I see.
Yeah, I've already asked questions on those ones too. So.
Okay. What have been your lowest moment as an agripreneur? Your lowest moment that you're like?
My lowest moment was December last year, January this year, and it was because of a whole lot of things. I would say staffing. So one of the major challenges sometimes is staffing, getting the right set of people who buy into the vision. And it's one of the biggest things. And then I would say there was a time where for a long chunk, I say beginning of this year, I had to use everything I have personally, put them into the business. And I'm seeing the results. So that has been my lowest moment in fish farming. Last year, I sort of cried over my farm.
Our diasporan brothers and sisters are inspired. They are learning so much, and they are eager to relocate home. But then again, their mind are scattered around. Is it crop farming or livestock or fish farming? For someone who has the plan of relocating permanently, but wants to do it in phases, what do you advise I do?
What I advise you to do first off, calm down. Spend some time in the various areas where you want to delve into. So for example, today you're in a fish farm, tomorrow you're in a pepper farm, tomorrow you are here or there. And then what you can do is you can divide your money into bits. So for example, if you have $100,000, you want to start a fish farm, don't put the entire $100,000 into the fish farm. So what I do is, if you come and you say, I want 20 ponds, I start with 5 first.
Okay.
Show me that based on the 5, you're able to do it and do it well. And then we can
proceed.
So for our diasporan siblings, what I'll tell you is this: at least spend some time to understand what you want to do and what you want to invest into around, not just I'm telling you, but visit the farm, go to this other farm, go to that other farm. You want to do catfish, but you've never gone to the market to buy and see how the catfish is. Those things are some of the mistakes that our diasporan people do make. And I beg you, any price that you are given, Charlie, try and check again. I've seen people lose over $100,000 just because they dealt with the wrong people in farming. But I mean, there are still very genuine people in Ghana, Africa, you can do business with. And it will take a while for you to be able to sort of fish them out. Try and then see either you can sort of partner with them or help them to help you establish yours. Stay around for a while, monitor. Then after a while, if you realize, no, this thing has the potential you want,
you don't have to convince me to buy tilapia or eat tilapia, but catfish, is there market for catfish? Because I've got calls from people saying, Ghanaian Mama, can you help me sell my catfish? They are right or they are due for sale, but I'm not getting buyers. Please, don't come and whet my appetite with I'm making profit. Is there market, and how do I sell my catfish? So,
for example, for us as a farm, I would say last month, I think in June or July, we had to sell some fish in these ponds, and we sold to just one person. And these ponds, this person also still wants to buy them. And for that person, that is the reason why we've also stocked 5,000 in the other ponds as well, because they are willing to buy the fish from us. The thing people need to understand is, the fact that you have the money doesn't mean that you just get up and then you do the skill. Do the background work. It can be difficult, but do the background work.
Okay.
This person I'm talking to, or these people I'm talking to you about, I have people who also do call me, oh, I have fish, I need people to buy. And I'm able to send them people to buy from them. Because I've put myself out there as, this is what I am doing, this is my business, anything fish, call me. And people are reaching out to me.
Okay.
So I will tell you, if you want to do fish business, do a bit of some background check. Check the prices of the smoked fish in the market, the fresh fish, who do you want to sell to? Are they the point and kill guys? Because there are people who sell for point and kill. They would buy, but they would buy, let's say, just 100 kilos, but then they buy that every week. And there are some point and kill guys who buys an entire pond of 1 ton of fish. So you need to find out 1, 2, 3, 4, how many of them do I want to work with? Another thing that you can sample is look for all of the restaurants around you that do sell like so for example, where the soup meals, where they do have some of these fish in there. What you can do is you can tell them, I can deliver fish, smoke quality. If you want it smoked today, brought to you tomorrow, quality assured, I can do that for you. What quantity do you think an average restaurant is going to take?
Right.
And so if, let's say, an average restaurant is taking, let's say, 100 pieces of fish for an entire week, get about 2 or 3 other restaurants, talk to them, let them know that this is what you are doing. They don't need to go out there to go and buy it.
Right.
You bring it to them, freshly smoked.
Right.
And that works too as well.
Okay, whoa. Look, if you let me and Latma will talk like the whole day. But my brother, what will be your final message to our audience who are watching this interview?
All right.
Who have picked some lessons from you and are planning to embark on this journey? What will be your final words to them?
All right, so for first-time fish farmers or people who tried fish farming and they didn't get exactly what they were looking out for, I'm telling you that you need to sort of find out the right way to do it. And what we are saying in Latman Farms is that we can hold your hand through the farming and what you're supposed to do. Also, for guys, for anybody who is watching us on today's episode on the Ghanaian Farmer, from now to the end of the year, if you reach out to us and you say, hey, I want any of the setups or anything whatsoever, we are going to give you free training, which is worth over 700 Ghana cedis. We are going to give you that training. The only thing is you need to emphasize that you got this, or you are coming from this particular episode. Mention the reference, the Ghanaian Farmer. If you mention that you have access to free training, which we have some online bits where you can join and learn, and then you are in business. But I mean, fish farming is an industry that is going to grow and grow and grow. And so we are just looking for dedicated farmers, where we form a group of farmers who we are always on the job, learning, improving ourselves. And then if I find a good or a bigger market, I can tap you in, tap this person in, tap that person in, and then we all grow and blossom together. Okay. So that's what we are looking out for. And anybody who's watching this, Charlie, like, subscribe, and put a very beautiful comment down there for this woman. She's doing amazingly well for us in Ghana. Idea.
Thank you very much, my brother. It's been an insightful discussion, but look, our Greek is what we both sleep, we wake up with, we walk with, it's like everything. Everywhere we go. We are proud farmers, okay? We are not shy, we are proud farmers. And so I'm telling you that if you're out there, being in Ghana or in the diaspora, and you want to invest in agriculture, like he said, I always say that on my channel, calm down. Don't use 2 weeks to come here and say, I'm researching, I want to do farm. No. Take about 2 months, 3 months, come and stay. Do the leg work.
Yeah.
And talk to the right people. In every country, there are scrupulous people around. It's not just in Ghana.
Yeah.
But make sure you speak to the right people and start the journey right. Agriculture pays off. Okay, if someone tells you it doesn't pay off, it's a lie. It pays off, but like he said, you have to follow the principle and the protocols, and it would pay off. It's not magic. It's just like any other corporate business. Look, this man here, he lives in East Lagos. Farmer where they is Lagos. You know the car where they drive? I will show you the car. I will show you the car. Listen, do me a favor. Subscribe, share this video, and drop a comment to appreciate Latman. But until then, thank you very much for watching. And he said there's a package. If you want to enjoy the free training and have some discount, when you call him, tell him that I watched you on the Ghanaian Farmer.
Yeah.
Use the Ghanaian Farmer as a referral and you benefit from the discount. But how do we call you? Any social media to leave?
All right, so we have also the Latman Farms YouTube channel,
Yeah.
which is just Latman Farms. And then also our office's line is 050 047 5443. You can also email us on latmanfarms@gmail.com.
Okay.
But I mean, in case of anything, to Enyonam, we also drop the details, and you can also still reach out to us.
All right. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you, my brother.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you too.
Okay.